What's up, guys? I know many of you have been waiting for me to give you a tour of the Hinderer knife collection. Well, today is our lucky day. What I'm going to do is go over each individual knife and tell you what the knife is, what the blade steel is, and anything that is rare or unique about it. Now, I wanted to wait till I got more subs to make this video, and we are about to hit 2,000 subscribers. I really appreciate all of you new subscribers and all the ones that have been with me since day one. I really appreciate your support, and if you don't make videos, I really insist that you make some videos if you can. I mean, we all have to start somewhere. With me, it started with, one knife. Now we're going to start with the production models, and we're going to work our way up to the rare custom models. Alright, so first off, start with this 3-inch flipper spanto. Now Hinderer has two main grinds in their production models, and that is the spanto and the slicer. This here is a spanto, and then you have flipper and non-flipper. I'm not going to tell you on each knife which one is a flipper or non-flipper. It's quite obvious. The knives with the little flipper tab there, they're called flippers, and the ones without the tab, those are called non-flippers. The blade and handle are stonewashed. The liner is anodized purple. Now these are very rare because Hinderer only made one batch of these 3-inch spantos quite a while back, and I was lucky enough to acquire one. I have not seen any new production 3-inch spantos yet, but they will be coming out this year, so look forward to that. Alright. Next is a 3-inch flipper slicer, the smoothest 3-inch I've ever handled in my life. I have no idea how it's this smooth. It just has a perfect detent, and it just, no matter how you do the flipper, it flips out very nicely. This is all stonewashed with the official bronze Hinderer clip and tab. Plain standoffs. Super early lockup. I've carried this for many times. Still has a very early lockup. Frag carbon fiber scale on it. Very nice. Next up, we've got a 3-inch slicer, non-flipper. I do actually prefer the non-flippers in the 3-inch. It's just very ergonomic, fits the hand real well. I think the flipper gets in the way on the 3-inch model. Next up, we've got a full DLC coated 3-inch flipper slicer. Still needs to be broken in. I've never carried or used this. I'll keep this in mint condition. It's good. It's a very awesome knife. There's only 10 of these, and that is one right there that I keep in mint condition, and this one right here, this is my user, DLC coated, same exact as the other one, except for this one's a user. You can tell by the blade. I use this one quite a bit. I'm testing out the DLC coating to see how well it wears, and it's actually holding up very well. Awesome little knife. Has the textured carbon fiber scale on it. Alright, now we're going to get into the 3.5-inch models. We've got a 3.5-inch spanto flipper with the S35VN steel with the bronze skull filler tab, black scale, plain black G10 scale, a smooth carbon fiber 3.5-inch spanto with S35VN steel, Gen 3 spanto flipper with CTS XHP blade steel, all stonewashed. Nope, nothing special about this. Quite a late lockup. It's quite old. seen quite a bit of use, even though it still looks brand new. Alright, now we've got a Gen 3 also. Spanto non-flipper with CTS XHP, rainbow anodized pocket clip, blue G10 scale. Alright, now we're going to get into some of my more favorite Gen 4 3.5 inchers. This one right here, super strong detent, love it. It's got bead blasted frame, stone washed blade with a mirror polished wicked edge on it, a silver, sterling silver skull filler tab, and green anodized clip, blue standoffs. I mean, this thing is awesome, just super smooth. The detent, it goes out every time, no matter how you flip it. You can flip it straight up, no problem. And very early lockup. I've carried this the most actually of my 3.5 inch productions. Gets a lot of use. I've got a 3.5 inch slicer. This one's all stone washed. Smooth carbon fiber scale. Very nice, love this one. Early lockup. These are pretty hard to find right now. Just gonna get harder to find since they got all the new ones that are made are gonna have the logo on them. From what I hear, that's just a temporary thing. We have 3.5 inch Gen 4 with a sandblasted TI, stonewash blade, FDE brown scale with a FDE, I guess, bronze anodized liner. I plan on anodizing the entire knife the same color to match that scale very well. I was very surprised when I got this. I mean, the quality, when you look at the detail and sit it next to a Sebenza, I mean, the fit and finish, I mean, there's no marks on this titanium at all. It's just perfect, just like a Sebenza. This was probably my second or third Hinderer I got, and when I got this is what really sparked my interest to get more, because when I saw this, I saw the attention to detail and the quality, and it was definitely up there with Chris Reeve. That's when I pursued to get more. Here, this one definitely sets them apart from the rest, just because it was my very first Hinderer. This is the very first one I bought. This is a 3.5 inch non-flipper slicer, Gen 4, bronze skull filler tab with a just a clip that I anodized a blue, and it's got a mirror polished wicked edge on it. This one has a lot of use, still very early lockup. I'm surprised how the lockup just stays just solid on these knives. They don't really go anywhere after much use. Still stays the same. Has a frag carbon fiber scale on it. Mirror polished standoffs. That looks pretty cool. Polished all the hardware on it, the pivot, all the screws, standoff pins. Just looks very clean. Next up is my only XM24. The XM24 is a little big for me, so I've only got one. This is a non-flipper Spanto, and oddly enough, it's actually Duratec 20CV. Now, there's no stamp on the blade, and I've never seen an XM24 with Duratec 20CV, so this one's quite old. All the XM24s I've seen are S35VN. Non-flipper. It's pretty big, hefty. Don't plan on getting any more unless I find a custom. I wouldn't mind having one custom XM24, but that is about it. Alright, now for the fun part. Now we're going to get into the custom XM18s that I have. Now these are by far my favorite. probably everyone's favorite. So let's start out with the very first custom I ever got. This is the 3-inch spear point, non-flipper, just polished standoffs, bronze clip, blue or purple lock bar stabilizer with a green filler tab. Just super smooth, very, very smooth. The awesome spear point grind, the very thick, robust tip. Just the grind is perfect on here. Looks awesome. And it's got a full titanium. Both sides are titanium. Super ergonomic. If I had smaller hands, maybe I would like the flipper model better, but the non-flipper on the 3-inch is just perfect for me. My other 3-inch, this is a Spanto flipper with blue clip and tab and bronze heat anodized pocket clip screws. You got Rick's signature Spanto grind. These are also pretty rare. On the 3-inch, you don't have all the grinds to choose from like you'll see on the 3.5-inch models. Spanto and Spear Point are the only ones I've seen so far. For the scale, we've got textured carbon fiber. Alright, now let's get into the fun part. Let's get into the 3.5-inch customs. These are by far the most popular, the most sought after knives. Here we've got a blue anodized aggressor. This is the aggressor grind. Stands for extreme tanto, has an extreme mirror polished edge on it. This is full working finish. The working finish is done by sandblasting and stone washing. That includes on the blade and the handle. All blue anodized by Hinderer himself. Kind of debating whether I should put some blue standoffs in there to match. I was kind of surprised it didn't come with blue standoffs. But we've got a smooth carbon fiber scale on it. Very wicked knife. Very thick tip. Could do some real damage with this knife. Or just look at it, fondle it. This is just a real beauty right here. Definitely my favorite knife. Maybe the most sought after, or maybe the second most sought after knife. The first would definitely be the Hellfire. Very sweet knife. Fully bronze anodized with bronze pocket clip screws and lock bar stabilizer. Super smooth. This is the recurve. Nice satin blade. Definitely my favorite to carry in EDC. It's the most usable blade shape in the collection. I really enjoy it. It is a favorite for sure. Now I've been testing the anodizing. I've been carrying this one in the pocket for a couple months now, and the anodizing has not worn away at all, even on the edges, which I'm very surprised. Now I've ran probably, I don't know, 50 miles with this in my shorts pockets. Just I was assuming maybe the edges would wear away on the anodizing, but it's held up very well. Still a very early lockup on it. Super smooth. See if it'll flip straight up. Almost. There we go. Next up, this is a special one-of-a-kind Bowie with a bead blasted handle, stonewashed blue pocket clip, and blue lock bar stabilizer with blue standoffs. Now if you look at the jimping there on the flipper. I was told this is a gentleman's Bowie made specially for a maybe a CIA agent or just a government agent, and it was designed to be worn with a suit and tie, because on the jimping on the normal XM18 is very sharp, very sharp, as you can see. Now if you're wearing a really expensive suit, you wouldn't want this in your pocket, because I've had jeans tear a hole because of the flipper on the jimping. But I do prefer it. I like it that it grips the flesh very well. So this is the only custom that I've seen with really smooth jimping. This is designed for just quick and easy access, sliding it in and out of the pocket. If you're wearing a suit, you know, you don't want to tear a hole in a $3,000 suit while you're trying to pull out your knife at dinner. Textured carbon fiber scale. This one, it needs to be taken apart and lubed. This is what it flips like when it's completely dry. There's no lube in it at all. Hinderers definitely need lube in order to flip well, and get that taken apart one day. If you were to ever drop this, you'd be an unhappy camper. Very thin tip. I love how on the Bowie it's got a place for your thumb. Nice thumb ramp right there. Just melts in there. Gripping it like this. And I like the smooth flipper. When you grip it like this, it's not sticking into your finger like on the regular custom. Now the Bowie grind is definitely a favorite. Highly sought after blade shape. It's very EDC friendly with a very fine thin tip that you could do some nice surgical tasks with. And when called into play, you could also use this as a very good self-defense device. Now of course all of these would do very well in self-defense, but for penetrating, this one will go in much nicer. Not suggesting that you would ever have to. I mean, I wouldn't want an expensive custom to be taken into evidence. I don't care if they do give it back and it was justified. I'm not going to let them have my Hinderer. But if you had no other choice, definitely would be great. Early lockup. Look at that. Very wicked knife. Alright, there's the Bowie. Now last but not least, for the 3.5 inch, this is the most newly acquired one. The 3.5 inch slicer with frag carbon fiber on it to match the very first knife I ever got. Frag carbon fiber. Now you could probably already guess what grind this is. To match that one, this is the slicer grind. Can't believe I waited this long to get the slicer grind. I mean, I guess it's just very hard to find, but this one definitely is an awesome grind. Has a very thin edge, the thinnest edge of all of those customs right there, so it makes it an even better cutter. You know, it does what the name implies, which is slice, and it does slice a little better than the rest of them. The tip is robust enough for any task. Blade shape is very usable. This is the only custom that I have with the new laser engraving on there, which is Rick Hinderer's autograph with their horse head logo. Stonewashed handle. Now what I do like on the new laser engravings is the jimping on the flipper. It has the same very sharp aggressive jimping, but the edges are rounded. If If you look at the edges, you don't have those sharp edges sticking out. Those are the edges that usually cut your clothing. If I can give you a close-up there, you can see that they rounded the edges off, so they're not so sharp, but still sharp enough to grab your finger like the flipper was designed to. See the lockup on it? A little late considering it's brand new, and the grind on here is perfect. I mean, there was no defects, flaws, or scratches at all in the finish. Some satin blades do have some horizontal lines going that way. It is from Rick Hinderer. When he grinds a custom blade, he has a rag, and that rag he'll grind it and then wipe it off, and he gets metal dust onto the rag, and then he'll wipe off the blade again, and that will introduce those scratches on the blade. Super smooth. I mean, the customs are always just smoother than the production models. This one's brand new. I mean, I haven't flipped it but maybe a dozen times. Still needs to be broken in, and it just flips very nicely. Because if you were to take one of these and try to flip it straight up, you're not going to have that much luck. I mean, no matter how hard you try, you're not going to get it up there. Alright, now on to the fixed blades. I've got two flash points here. These are 3-inch fixed blades. Let's start with this one. Comes with Kydex sheath with a ball chain on it. This is a sandblasted finish. It has R. Hinderer engraved in the blade. This has a screen pattern, a screen door pattern on there. So they lay down this screen pattern and they sandblast it, and you get this nice pattern on there. Nice thick blade. It's thicker than the production 3-inch, which it should be because it's a fixed blade. Give you a size comparison of the 3-inch folding knife compared to the fixed blade. A little bit shorter overall length, but you get a little more cutting edge because of the finger choil on the 3-inch. It's pretty ergonomic in hand. I wish the handle was a little bigger. You don't get really a full purchase on it, but this isn't something that I'd probably use every day, every time I need to open something. This is the hollow ground version. All the newer ones are flat ground CNC made on a machine, but this was hand ground by Rick. Has a blue and black G10 scale on it. Has a lanyard ring for your lanyard. Now the flash points are made of CPM 154. Next we have a Spanto. I love this one. This is a satin Spanto with smooth carbon fiber scales. Now the stock on this one's just a little thinner than this one. I'm not sure why, but it's just a tad thinner. Everything else is pretty much the same. Got the same jimping on both. Same Rick Hinderer engraving. See, the grinds are very similar. Same very thick, robust tips. You get the same, you get a little more cutting length in the flash point, even though it's a smaller knife. Now all these customs are Duratec 20CV, and these two flash points are CPM 154. Now it's a good thing that all these are Duratec 20CV, because Duratec 20CV is the equivalent of M390, And if you know M390, it's a highly sought after blade steel. It's pretty expensive, but it holds an edge very well. It's pretty well known that if the blade steel is not marked on the blade, then it is 20 CV. Anything else will be marked. Now there's only 3 blade steels right now that Hinderer uses, well 4, but the 3 main ones are Duratec 20 CV, S35VN, and CTS XHP. And then you got CPM 154 over here. Now all the customs I've seen so far are 20 CV. I'm not sure if he plans on using other blade steels in the future, but 20 CV is my favorite, and if I could only choose one blade steel, it would be that. Now Hinderer has 4 main blade finishes. In his production models, there's 3. You have all stone washed, and then you have sand blasted right here, and then you have bead blasted right here. Let's just do a quick comparison. Got a production slicer with the custom slicer. Show you the difference. Now one is done on CNC and one is hand ground. Everything else is the same between the customs and productions. So we got production and custom spanto. See the difference there. So I bought my very first Hinderer in July 2012, and it's April 2013 right now. So it took me roughly 8 to 9 months to acquire all these. Took a lot of searching and dedication, checking the forums, every hour basically, checking eBay every hour. And sometimes they're hard to find what you're looking for, but if you're persistent in your searches, you'll definitely find what you're trying to get. So as for Hinderer accessories, we've got just a bunch of standoffs, bronze, plain titanium, blue standoffs that I haven't installed yet. Got these quite a while, haven't had time to put them on any knives. Got steel flame accessories, the pocket clip, that was, put this on a knife, but since it's a steel clip instead of the stock titanium, it has very, very good edge retention on the pocket. Well, just a little bit too much for my taste, so I can't use that. And the lock bar stabilizer, it sticks out and it just catches on the pocket, and you actually have to use 2 hands to put the knife back in your pocket, so can't use that. But still got a titanium scale I gotta put on. Got some, some old scales from whenever I got the carbon fiber scales. These just came off the knives. Got blue, black, black, green, black, I think some kind of green, black, black, frag G10 black, orange frag, and regular orange. And I do collect Rick Hinderer signed boxes. I got a few of them here. I would like to have a box for all my customs, but I don't yet. Still trying to find them. And for Hinderer accessories, I got a few pins. This one I got from Gavco. This is the pen Kubiton, flame anodized with the DNA catcher on it. I have the titanium extreme duty pen that I stonewashed. And I have the blue anodized aluminum extreme duty pen. This one is a lot lighter than the titanium and the other versions, so I got that one. And the steel investigator and the aluminum, not sure what color that is, maybe green. And this one is the blue aluminum investigator with the acid washed tip there. Actually, acid washed the pocket clip also. Then I got this Kubotan, the modular Kubotan set. Goes in that box right there. It's got all the exchangeable tips in there. Also made of titanium. I just have a few tools, armorer's tools, titanium ones, and then a couple steel tools. Now that would be most of the collection. The only thing not here are the doubles and triples, like the production models. I have a few of those that are brand new in box, and I will keep them there. I keep those for bartering goods in case I ever find a custom that I want, and the trader requires that I have a brand new knife, because all these right here get used and carried except for maybe this one. I keep mint. Other than that, everything else gets carried and used. So alright guys, thanks for watching. That is my collection for now. I mean, it changes on a weekly basis. Alright guys, that is it. Thank you for your patience, and I hope you guys watched it all. If you guys have any Hinderers, please comment down below what you have. I mean, what you want. What's your favorite one of them all? So stick around and stay tuned for more, and I hope you guys have a great weekend, great day, and I will catch you guys later.